All right, good morning. My name is Saya Baker Barnes, and for about 3 more hours, I have the privilege of serving as the president of the Florida Bar, and it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to our General Assembly this morning. This is a very special ceremony where we honor our outgoing leadership, the court, of course, some special leaders, and we welcome our incoming leadership who I know will keep taking this bar to the next level. We're going to start this morning with the invocation by the Most Reverend Eric T. Pohlmeyer. And Reverend, you may come to the podium and start us off. Thank you so much for being here today.
We call to mind the presence of our loving God. Loving God, you are the source of true justice and all mercy. In the beginning of time, you brought order from chaos and formed humanity to share the divine life. Over the ages, you have guided humanity with the gift of wisdom and inspired hearts for charity. You revealed your law as the foundation for human flourishing in every age. Today, I ask your blessing on the gathering of the Florida Bar in this transition of leadership. These men and women have taken on the task to protect the public under the order of the law. Guide them to recognize justice in the difficult situations they face and give them compassion for the people who trust their expertise. As they carry out their professional lives, help them recognize the opportunity to share in the work of building a better society. I also ask your blessing on their families and all who are dear to them. Heal the sick among them and help them discover joy and purpose in the bonds they share. From the talents entrusted to them, bring great fruit. Give them grace to be men and women of integrity. Give them peace in contentious situations and lead them to truth. Allow them to see the shared humanity of every person so that the divisions may be overcome. With the pursuit of justice, allow the innocent and the guilty to move forward with hope. Provide your light in every situation. And in the cases that they have in this moment, give them your insight and help them discover their truest ideals in the service of the human family. May their work be for the greater good. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you. All right, I am now going to ask everyone to please rise for the presentation of the colors. And if you would, please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and the singing of the national anthem. And now for the presentation of colors are Sergeant Gabriel Aviles, Sergeant Lenice Bridges from the 1st of 256th Air Defense Battalion in Palm Coast, Florida. All right, and now I invite Michael Orr's beautiful children, Michael, Max, Tucker, and Eloise, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now, diagnosed with autism at the age of 2, doctors said she would never read, write, or speak. Through love, therapy, and hard work on her part, she overcame. She has sung at our nation's capital for the governor of Florida and even at Fenway Park for the Boston Red Sox. And today, she sings for us. Please welcome from Deltona, Florida, Melody Aviles.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Well, that was just beautiful. Let's give Melody another round of applause. And thank you to Sergeant Bridges, Sergeant Aviles, and your beautiful family, Vimory, Melody, and Bianca, for being with us this morning. That was a very special treat. You may all now be seated. Let's now, if we could, in your program, we have listed the deceased members of the Florida Bar, folks that we have lost this year, but the Bar recognizes and appreciates for their service to the profession. And we're going to have a moment of silence for our deceased members that you can find in your programs. Thank you. May their memory be a blessing. All right, I would like to continue with our program today by introducing the third from our Florida Third District Court of Appeal. Thank you for being here, Judge Scales. I'm excited to introduce our incoming president-elect, Paige Greenlee from Tampa. Thank you, Paige, and congratulations. And of course, the man of the hour, our president-elect of the Florida Bar, and my dear friend from Jacksonville, Michael Fox Orr. Congratulations. To my right is our Chief Justice of the Florida Supreme Court, Justice Carlos Muniz. Thank you for being here today. We also have Elizabeth Foshee McCausland, who has done a phenomenal job this year serving as chair of this convention. Thank you, Liz, for all of your hard work. And of course, Joshua Doyle, the Executive Director of the Florida Bar. Let's give them a round of applause. I also would like, we have with us the members of our Florida Supreme Court, and they have been here all week, and we truly appreciate working with you all and the partnership. Would you all please stand and be recognized? Would all of the past presidents of the Florida Bar who are with us here today please stand and be recognized? Would all of the members of the Florida Bar Board of Governors who are here today please stand and be recognized? And finally, the members of our Young Lawyers Division, YLD, where are you at? Please stand and be recognized. Thank you all for your service. So this convention is the result of a year-long effort by the Annual Convention Committee. It takes an incredible amount of time, effort, and energy to put on this convention. And the committee has had an incredible commitment to making this event practical, enjoyable for so many of our members, providing continuing legal education, support, leadership skills for our members and beyond. So I would especially like to thank Michael Orr for his vision for this convention. This is his committee. And I would also like to recognize formally the chair of the Annual Convention Committee, Liz McCausland, and the entire committee. Would you all please stand and be recognized? Anyone who served on the Annual Convention Committee. Thank you all for your service. Okay, so this is a special part of the program for me because I have the privilege of presenting the President's Awards of Merit to several exceptional individuals who have provided incredible service to the Florida Bar, gone above and beyond the call of duty to the bar and the profession. The President's Awards of Merit are secret awards, so the recipients do not know who they are, and so that's one of the most exciting parts of this. But it's important, I think, to recognize those that volunteer their time away from their practices and their families to give back to our bar and the community. So my first President's Award of Merit goes to someone who had the daunting task of leading a brand new committee, reaching out and inspiring attorneys in a practice area that had not been highlighted by our bar in the past. Her commitment to this initiative meant that thousands of lawyers had access to new resources, continuing legal education, and a new community in which to celebrate and share their challenges, experiences, and voices. The President's Award of Merit, the first President's Award of Merit, goes to my dear friend who is the General Counsel of Universal Insurance, the chair of our Corporate Counsel Committee, Michelle Morgan. Michelle, please come forward. Also receiving President's Awards today are the vice chairs of the Corporate Counsel Committee, Manny Farach and Grassford Smith. Would you please come forward? The three of these folks really just dedicated a tremendous amount of time to this committee, and so I want to be sure that we recognize our vice chairs of the committee as well. So Manny and Grassford, if you're here, please come forward. The entire Corporate Counsel Committee is to be commended for their hard work, and if you are a member of the Corporate Counsel Committee, please stand and be recognized. The next President's Award of Merit goes to someone who has given extraordinary service to the Florida Bar Board of Governors. He first joined the Board of Governors in 2016 and has been, during his tenure, an invaluable voice of reason, a leader of many incredible initiatives and projects, but more importantly, someone who could be counted on always to be thoughtful, deliberative, and careful with the responsibility that we hold as members of the Florida Bar Board of Governors. His work on the budget, communication, and program evaluations committees, as well as many more, was critical to our bar and to our profession. And from a personal standpoint, he's someone that I have, through my term on the board, relied upon for advice, counsel, and sound reason throughout my time on the board, and it's my great honor to present the President's Award of Merit to Governor Joshua Chilson. The next President's Award of Merit goes to someone who has served the Florida Bar in so many ways, serving on our Young Lawyers Division, co-chairing the Sustainability Initiative for Attorneys, working with lawyers from around the state on a statewide listening tour to ensure that our members' voices were heard, someone who has supported me personally throughout this entire year, leading up to presidency and serving in this role, and is just an incredible person and leader, and someone who is always advocating for the mission and support of the Florida Bar. So it's my great honor to present my next President's Award of Merit to G.C. Murray. We also have awards for the entire Special Committee for the Sustainability Initiative for Attorneys, which was really designed to take a look at what it takes to ensure that our lawyers have fulfilling meaningful, and sustainable legal careers. And so each member of the committee will be receiving a President's Award, and along with our co-chair of the committee, our President-elect, Michael Orr, who also did a phenomenal job on the committee. Thank you for your hard work. Okay. A few more. The next President's Award of Merit goes to, sorry. Sorry, give me a second. Someone who I am privileged to call a dear friend, one of my best friends, who has served this state with grace, leadership, intelligence, resilience, and strength, representing the Young Lawyers Division around the state and beyond. She has led with style, but her commitment and dedication to the young lawyers that are currently in the division and the future lawyers of the state cannot be overstated. Through her Open for Opportunity initiative, the Young Lawyers Division was able to connect with young lawyers, law students, and leaders from around the state, providing leadership, support, and real jobs to people who need it the most. She has dedicated countless hours to the Florida Bar and made us all incredibly proud. So I am proud to present a President's Award of Merit to the Young Lawyers Division President, Arti Ajit Harani. The final President's Award of Merit goes to someone who has provided also extraordinary service to the Florida Bar Board of Governors. She is also someone who joined the board in 2016, so she's served the board with esteem, grace, intelligence, strength, and endearing service for 10 years. She has chaired our legislation committee, chaired our program evaluation committee, and just really has been deeply committed to the bar, its mission, and the people that we serve. And I'm honored to have served with her and to call her a friend. And I would like to invite and recognize Melissa Van Sickle. We also, as part of this program, recognize folks who have gone above and beyond the call of duty for their committee work, and there are a number of programs that the Florida Bar has put on this year that have just been phenomenal programs that have really impacted the profession in a positive way. One of which is the Florida Bar Young Lawyers Division's Job and Resource Fair, which was led by Chair Freddie Menard and co-chairs Alicia Mauricio and Nick Zabrens. The Job and Resource Fair Committee envisioned, organized, and fundraised for months to create the first ever event to truly connect Florida's young lawyers with employers across the state. I was honored to be there to talk with exceptional professionals about the challenges they face and what inspires them to push forward. The committee's work transformed an event into a powerful statement of our profession's dedication to access, mentorship, and career development. Congratulations to the Young Lawyers Division's Job and Resource Fair Committee, and would the chairs and vice chairs please, at the end of the assembly, come and pick up your awards. Thank you very much for your commitment. All right, and finally, I would like to recognize the last committee recognition for our awards for a very special committee that has had a phenomenal impact on the Florida Bar Leadership Academy. The Leadership Academy is a special program that educates, inspires, and cultivates Florida's lawyers into future legal leaders. The chairs of this committee, Brandon Sapp and David Thompson, were able to take a phenomenal program and just enhance it with creative programming, innovative speakers and mentors, and a dedication to providing the best pathways to leadership for its fellows and for its alumni. So it is my incredible honor to present the President's Award of Merit for committee work to Brandon Sapp and David Thompson, chairs of the Florida Bar Leadership Academy Committee. Don't move. And I'm going to ask Brandon and David to stand up here with me because we have a new award to present today to someone who is, this is long overdue. It is our privilege to announce that the Florida Bar Leadership Academy has created the Eugene K. Pettis Leadership Award. This award honors leaders who exemplify both the mission and spirit of the Florida Bar Leadership Academy. It is a permanent award that will be presented at this General Assembly each year, and it is our great honor to present the inaugural award to Eugene K. Pettis. I'm not done, don't come up here yet. Gene is a past president of the Florida Bar. He was the first Black president of the Florida Bar. He paved the way for me and so many others to be standing before you today. And his leadership helped shape not only the direction of the bar, but the experiences of countless lawyers across our state. Gene's always around the state saying that he did not create the Leadership Academy for legacy. He created the Leadership Academy to open doors and provide seats at the table for lawyers and leaders around our state to ensure that the future of this profession remains strong. Gene, this award was created to recognize individuals whose leadership, service, and commitment to the profession leave a lasting and meaningful impact. And naming this award after you today gives us the opportunity to celebrate your legacy in the presence of the very community that you helped to lead and inspire. So it is my great honor today to present the inaugural Eugene K. Pettis Leadership Award to my president, Eugene K. Pettis. Each year at the General Assembly, we present 2 awards that are longtime awards established here to recognize individuals that have gone above and beyond the call of duty in their work in bar associations, and also individuals that have gone above and beyond the call of duty in their work to address lawyer discipline. These are the Marshall R. Cassidy Sr. Award and the Tony Boggs Award. I'm going to start with the Marshall R. Cassidy Award. Established in 2012, this award honors and recognizes the legacy and attributes of Marshall R. Cassidy Sr., who served as executive director of the Florida Bar from 1961 to 1980. After his death in 2011, a special committee created this award to honor him and others for extraordinary service to the Florida Bar or to a local bar. The recipient of the 2026 Marshall R. Cassidy Sr. Award is Carrie Hicks, Executive Director of the Florida Association for Women Lawyers. She didn't know she was getting this. As Executive Director of Fall, Carrie brings an exceptional level of dedication and heart to everything she does, not because it is required of her, but because she genuinely cares about Fall's mission and the organizations she serves. Her tireless work behind the scenes to plan and execute meaningful programs and events has elevated Fall and created experiences that the members look forward to year after year. As you can see, her bar association is truly lucky to have her leadership and dedication and appreciates her beyond measures. Congratulations, Carrie. The next award is the Tony Boggs Excellence in Discipline Award. The Boggs Award is given to recognize dedication, integrity, intellectual excellence, and extraordinary work in and on behalf of the lawyer discipline efforts of the Florida Bar. The 2026 Tony Boggs Award goes to Governor Tad Yates. Tad first joined the board in 2020, and his time in his time has worked on many committees, but his time on the Disciplinary Review Committee has been exemplary. As you can imagine, this committee spends an immense amount of time considering and deliberating discipline cases, part of the core mission of the Florida Bar. This work is critical to the legal profession and protecting the public. And Tad, your unwavering commitment to uphold the principles, fairness, integrity, and accountability has been invaluable. Tad is one of my dear friends. He's leaving us on the board this year. I call him, even though I'm a Seminole, I call him my favorite Gator. But I just want to say thank you, Tad, for your service to the judicial system and to Florida as a whole.
Thank you so much.
All right, you all are almost done with me. But I get to give a little bit of a farewell address, so please bear with me. So, to Chief Justice Muniz, Justices of the Florida Supreme Court, past presidents of the Florida Bar, my Board of Governors, President-elect Michael Oher, distinguished guests, family, and friends. I stand before you this morning, sorry, I'm already crying, grateful, thankful to God for this opportunity, and to you for the privilege of serving as your president. Serving as president of the Florida Bar has been the honor of a lifetime. And it has been my great privilege to represent our members, travel this great state, and to witness firsthand the dedication, professionalism, and commitment that Florida lawyers bring to their clients, their communities, and our justice system every day. I have also been deeply honored to work alongside our Chief Justice, who I have gotten to know personally, and been very proud to have the opportunity to work with you, advancing the shared mission of the bar, the court, to regulate our profession and to protect the public. This partnership is essential to maintaining the strength, integrity, and public trust that define our legal system. I would also like to take a moment to recognize the many past presidents of the Florida Bar who are with us today, and thank you for your leadership, mentorship, and stewardship of this great organization. It is you that paved the way for me to stand here today. When I began this journey, I adopted the theme, a seat at the table. For me, that theme has always been about engagement, leadership, and service. It is about encouraging lawyers to become involved, to contribute their talents, and to help shape the future of our profession. So whether you are a law student, a young lawyer, just beginning your career, or a seasoned practitioner, a judge, or a 50-year member of the bar, your voice matters, your service matters, and your participation matters. Throughout this year, I've had the privilege of visiting nearly every judicial circuit, nearly every law school in the state, and those visits reinforced something that I have long believed, and that is that the strength of the Florida Bar does not lie in any one leader, committee, or program. It lies in its members. I met lawyers who are mentoring for future generations, providing pro bono services to those in our community that need it the most, leading their local bar associations, all strengthening public confidence in our profession. And it's those experiences that leave me today inspired and optimistic about the future of the legal profession in Florida. One of the highlights of this year was the launch and continued development of our Florida Bar Corporate Counsel Committee, led by Michelle Morgan, which created meaningful opportunities for collaboration and leadership amongst in-house counsel throughout our state. In just 1 year, this has become one of the largest and most engaged committees of the Florida Bar, addressing an entire segment of lawyers who previously felt unseen but now have a front seat at the table. We also embarked on our sustainability initiative listening tour alongside G.C. Murray, who led each one of the listening tours in all circuits, including our out-of-state division. And we heard directly from lawyers about the realities of modern practices, the real challenges that they are facing, how they want to do what is right and work hard for their clients, but are facing challenges that make it incredibly difficult to do so. And it's those conversations that provided valuable insight to us at the bar on how we can help our lawyers continue to have meaningful and sustainable legal careers. One of the most meaningful aspects of this year for me was our deep and enduring partnership with the Young Lawyers Division of the Florida Bar. I have gotten to know them very well. But throughout the year, we have traveled the state together, we visited law schools. We really shared a common commitment to strengthening our profession and building relationships. And I know I say this a lot, but the future of the profession is over there. And they are so ready. They are smart, they are talented, they are driven. And it's up to us to continue to pour into them so that they have the tools that they need to reach the heights that I know that they can reach. Our work together culminated in the first ever joint Florida Bar and Young Lawyers Division Job and Resource Fair, where we had more than 400 law students and young lawyers attend a groundbreaking event. We had judges. I know Judge Alan Forrest is here. He spent the entire day there working with young lawyers and law students, and we left feeling very inspired about where our profession is headed. And a key focus this year was also expanding the impact of the Florida Bar Leadership Academy, which is one of our bar's premier programs for identifying and developing future leaders, not just in the bar, but in their communities, in their churches, in the organizations that they care about, so that they are equipped with the tools that they need to be successful. And under Brandon Sapp and David Thompson's leadership, we prioritized fundraising, resource development, and continued growth and sustainability of the Academy. We also collaborated and partnered with the Board of Governors to increase engagement between the Leadership Academy Fellows and our bar leadership. And this partnership reflects our shared commitment to preparing leaders to serve both the profession and the public. None of these accomplishments would have been possible without the exceptional leadership of our Board of Governors. So to each member of the board, all of whom I'm so privileged to call my friends, thank you for your dedication, for your thoughtful counsel, and for your commitment to our bar. It has been my great privilege to serve alongside each one of you. This year, I'm especially grateful to my presidential liaisons who served as ambassadors, advisors, and partners throughout this year. And these remarkable lawyers devoted their time and energy unpaid. They stepped away from their practices. They came to every board meeting. They attended every board event and provided meaningful perspectives to our board that are in many respects and at times unrepresented on the board. So I would like to formally recognize each one of them. United States Magistrate Judge Penny Augustine Birch, our Judiciary Liaison. Carla Tharp Brown, Executive Director of the Palm Beach County Bar Association, who was our Voluntary Bar Liaison. Jennifer Camella, President of the Florida Association for Women Lawyers. Alexia Cox, the State Attorney for the 15th Judicial Circuit, who represented our government lawyers. Brendalyn Edwards, president of the Virgil Hawkins, Florida chapter of the National Bar Association. Jordi Martinez Cid, president of the Cuban American Bar Association. Sharice Morgan, past Miami-Dade Bar president and chair of the Florida Bar Standing Committee on Professionalism. Michelle Morgan, chair of our Corporate Counsel Committee. Stephanie Myron, representing our solo and small firms, which over 70% of our lawyers are from solo and small firms. Leslie Powell-Boudreau was our legal services liaison, ensuring that we recognized pro bono service. And Brandon Sapp was our representative from the Leadership Academy. Thank you all for your service. I'm getting there. To our bar staff, Josh Doyle, the entire team, Kelly, Allie, Elizabeth, Gypsy, Terry, Mike, Brandy, Clay. There's so many I can mention. You all are just incredible people. This does not happen without just so much work and so much dedication, but they are not only there for us when we're in this role as leaders, but they are there for us personally. Thank you for everything that you do for the bar and what you have done for me. I want to thank our, I've already spoken about her, but I want to thank our Young Lawyers Division President, Arthi Hirani. You are phenomenal, a dear friend, and it has been my privilege to serve alongside you this year. I know that there are great things in store for you, and I can't wait to see what you will accomplish next. To my dear, dear friend, Michael Orr, you're going to be an amazing president of this organization. I will miss you. I'll miss our lattes. But I know that you are going to do a phenomenal job. And Paige, congratulations. I'm so excited that you are doing this next. To Reno Pierre, our incoming president of the Florida Bar Young Lawyers Division. I know you're going to kill it. Can't wait to see what you do. And Warren Chin, congratulations to you as well. To my colleagues at Searcy, Denny, Scarola, Barnhart, and Shipley, I see y'all over there in the corner. Chris Searcy, Greg Barnhart, Jordan Dulcie, please stand. Please stand up. Mariano Garcia. Don't know why you were sitting down. You can't do this without having an incredibly supportive law firm, and I have the best law firm who has supported me. It's the only place I've practiced for 26 years. And I cannot tell you how thankful and grateful and appreciative I am of you, and especially Chris, who gave me an opportunity and is always there with me every step of the way. I don't know if you've seen him, but he has been like at every meeting at this convention. He has been at every reception by my side, because that's who Chris Searcy is. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. I love you. My team at the firm, Jordan Dulcie, Elwanda Leonard, Amber Sanders, Krista Head, Trina Thilberg, Robin, Julia, Mary Victoria. Thank you guys for keeping the train running while I was on the road. I could not have done it without you. My dear friends, Rob and Janola, who literally helped me put my best face forward every single day. G.C. Murray, thank you. Mom and Dad. There are just no words. So I just thank you for being you and always being there for me. My dad is going to be recognized later as a 50-year member of the bar, so that's like the last thing I get to do. So I'm excited to do that, but I could not have better parents. My sister, my family, my extended families here. They're always there, and I want to thank you. To my children, Celia, Emery, and Eden, I'm back. I just thank you guys for your love and your patience and your understanding with me while I was on the road. And to my best friend, thank you, and my husband, Edric. I don't know what I could say except that you're my greatest champion, my biggest fan, my biggest supporter. Could not do this without you, not even close. And I love you, and I see you, and I appreciate you, and I thank you. Love you. And so in true Edric Barnes fashion, in closing, no, seriously, one more thing. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the significance of this day. We're gathering here at this annual convention under the theme, the Framework of Freedom. And we do so on Juneteenth, a day that commemorates the end of slavery in the United States and marks an important chapter in our nation's continuing pursuit of liberty and justice under the law. Juneteenth reminds us that freedom is one of our nation's most cherished ideals. And it is also a reminder that the rule of law matters, that justice matters, and that the rights and responsibilities of citizenship must never be taken for granted. And so throughout this year, I've spoken about a seat at the table, but for me, that theme has never been about a particular chair or position. It's about our profession, our system of justice, and the fact that every generation inherits the responsibility to preserve and strengthen the institutions that protect freedom and uphold the rule of law. I'm especially honored that my term as president of the Florida Bar concludes on Juneteenth because it is a meaningful reminder that leadership is ultimately an act of service and that our profession plays an important role in preserving the principles of freedom, justice, and opportunity. And it is my hope that as we conclude this Framework of Freedom Convention, that each of us leaves with a renewed commitment to answer the call, to continue to serve with purpose, and to continue to ensure that each of us has a seat at the table. Thank you for the privilege of serving as your president.
He got through it. He got through it.
All right, it is now time to recognize Leadership Academy Class 13. Would all of the members of Leadership Academy Class 13 please stand and be recognized? Congratulations. They're going to graduate later today. We're very, very proud of you all. Would the 2026-27 Young Lawyers Division Board of Governors please come forward to the dais? Reminder, would the tall people please stand in the back? Chief Justice Muniz, would you please come forward to swear in our new Young Lawyers Division governors?
Okay, if you could please raise your right hands and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear to uphold, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Florida Constitution, the rules regulating the Florida Bar, and the bylaws of the Young Lawyers Division. And I further agree to carry out to the best of my ability all responsibilities pertaining to my office. So help me God. Congratulations.
Congratulations to our new Young Lawyers Division Board of Governors, and at this time I would like to ask Anika Ashton to come forward to introduce the incoming President of the Young Lawyers Division, Reno Pierre.
Good morning, members of the Florida Bar, colleagues and friends. On this Juneteenth morning, it's my incredible privilege to introduce my friend, a lawyer, a leader, and servant whose dedication to our profession and our communities has prepared him for this moment. Our next president of the Florida Bar Young Lawyers Division, Reno V. Pierre. When I think about Reno and his contributions to the community, I'm reminded of a part of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech delivered to students in 1967, 6 months before his assassination. He said, "If you are called by the Lord Almighty to be a street sweeper, sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures, sweep streets like Beethoven composed music, sweep streets like Leontine Price sings before the Metropolitan Opera. Sweep streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will pause and say, 'Here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well.'" Since I met Reno as a summer intern at the Broward County Attorney's Office, Reno has consistently epitomized Dr. King's sentiments. No matter what task he took on, however large or small, he always strove to be the best, to be great. As a summer intern, Reno, in his own quiet way, swept the streets like Beethoven composed music. He held, and still holds, not to be defeated, the title for Best Dressed Summer Intern. He understood that even his appearance needed to meet these high standards. And when he later transitioned and gained the title of Best Dressed Assistant County Attorney when he discovered double-breasted suits, Reno still continues to hold that title. I'm not sure that anyone's going to beat him. But as you see today, Reno is still and always will be sharp and stylish. But more importantly, his diligence, intelligence, thoughtfulness, and high-quality work product left an impression on me and everyone that he worked with, even in those short few weeks. So when he completed his LLM in real property development, while working full-time as an assistant state attorney, I jumped at the chance to bring Reno back into the Broward County Attorney's Office to handle complex real estate and finance matters. I, along with the Broward County staff and our elected officials, came to rely on Reno's judgment, work ethic, and ability to move challenging matters forward. He always delivered. It was obvious then that Reno's dedication and work ethic were another version of Dr. King's advice, another way for him to sweep the streets like Michelangelo painted pictures. But Reno's metaphorical sweeping of streets like Shakespeare wrote poem has never stopped at the office door. He has devoted countless hours to serving lawyers and the larger communities throughout South Florida and across the state. Reno has always stepped forward when there was work to be done, no matter the task. He left his imprint, and it has never gone unnoticed. When I started working with Reno, I served as an elected and then later as an appointed member of the Florida Bar Young Lawyers Division. I initially was the only government lawyer, and it can be challenging to be a government lawyer in bar service. There's really no business case for our involvement, especially as a young lawyer. But as a member of the first class of the Florida Bar Leadership Academy, I knew that our voices were needed on the YLD, that representation matters, and having that our experience factored into the decisions made by the bar was important. So after I left the board, when a Broward County seat became available, I encouraged Reno to seek that seat. And it turns out that others who had seen his work ethic and dependability also encouraged him to join. And join he did, and he did it in Reno style. Just like he had done in the office, Reno immediately made an impact on the Florida Bar Young Lawyers Division. Those who've worked with Reno know that his leadership is rooted in action. He is the first person to volunteer, the first person to show up, and the last person to leave. I remember when Reno first joined the YLD and the west coast of Florida experienced significant impacts from a hurricane. Only a few weeks into serving on the board, he told me that he'd be leaving that evening, after a full day of work, to drive supplies to the West Coast to assist those impacted by the storm. And that's really been the hallmark of Reno's servant leadership. He not only has a vision, but he puts it to work to bring the necessary vision to life. I witnessed days when Reno would spend the morning, organize a Young Lawyers Division event at the Palm Beach County Courthouse, and then he'd spend the day in the office with me negotiating or resolving high-stakes real estate matters for our county commissioners. And then later in the evening, I'd see him moderating a Haitian lawyers event down in North Miami. His energy is remarkable and his dedication inspiring. I'd be remiss if I didn't take a moment to really highlight that in the midst of all of these commitments, Reno's work product in our office has always been excellent, timely, and dependable. His welcoming and helpful demeanor has made him the go-to person for real estate matters by colleagues and me, who all of us miss him terribly. I could not have asked for a better colleague over the last 5 years, and I don't think the Florida Bar Young Lawyers Division and Bar at Large could ask for a better leader. We also see those commitments and support for his family, caring for his mother through illness over the past 2 years, and planning awesome vacations with his partner in life, productivity, and social media posts, and now fiancé, Balkis. That level of commitment in all areas of his life explains why Reno earned the trust and confidence of lawyers throughout Florida. His election is also historic. Reno will become the first Black male and first Haitian American to serve as president of the Florida Bar Young Lawyers Division. While that achievement is significant, I know Reno would tell you that leadership is not about making history, it's about making a difference. There's a quote often attributed to Muhammad Ali that says, "Service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth." And few people I know have paid that rent more faithfully than Reno Pierre. He has spoken passionately about expanding opportunities for government lawyers, increasing engagement with law students, and enhancing professional development programming, and ensuring that young lawyers throughout Florida have the resources and support they need to thrive no matter where they are and what they practice. And I'm confident he will do just that, because they say that the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. And this is exactly what Reno has been doing during his time as a lawyer and as a member of the YLD. And this is exactly what he will do as president of the YLD. I therefore have no doubt that this time next year, in a room that looks like this, the hosts of heaven and earth will pause to say, "Here lives a Wild D president, the first black male to serve in this role, a son of Haiti, Miami, and the University of Florida, who did his job well." Ladies and gentlemen of the Florida Bar, it is my pleasure to welcome Reno V. Pierre, the next president of the Florida Bar Young Lawyers Division.
Always tough to get out there in front of the
Good morning, everyone. Anika, thank you so much for that kind introduction. As you all heard, Anika has played a truly meaningful role in my journey, both personally and professionally. When I first started my summer internship at the county attorney's office, almost every day for the first week, someone would say, "Have you met Anika yet?" Or, "You should go talk to Anika." Anika at the time was just a young lawyer herself, but everyone in the office held her in such high regard. And from the moment I sat down with her, I instantly understood why. Anika is smart and incredibly generous with her time. Over the years, we've grown closer, and she remains someone that I deeply respect and admire. Anika, thank you for your friendship, thank you for your mentorship, and for helping to shape the path of this very moment. The role of president is truly meaningful, but no president can do this work alone. That is why President-elect is so essential. And I'm extremely grateful that that person is Warren Chin. Warren is a partner at Spirett, Mashad, and Du Bois, PA. His practice focuses on helping catastrophically injured individuals, including medical malpractice. Warren graduated cum laude from the University of Florida, Levin College of Law. And after law school, he began his career in Miami at one of Florida's largest law firms. He was mentored and supervised by Thomas E. Scott, a former state and federal judge and U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida. But beyond the resume, what makes Warren right for the job is his overall character. Warren's thoughtful, hardworking, and deeply committed to the YLD. Joining Warren on stage is his wife and better half, Natasha. Additionally, joining them on stage are my parents, Renan and Leonie Pierre, and my lovely fiance, Balkis. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming the incoming president-elect of the Florida Bar Young Lawyers Division, Warren Chin.
Congratulations. Do the left hand. If you could raise that one, left hand. Warren, if you could. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
to uphold, protect, and defend
to uphold, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Florida Constitution,
the Florida Constitution,
the rules regulating the Florida Bar,
the rules regulating the Florida Bar,
and the bylaws of the Young Lawyers Division.
and the bylaws of the Young Lawyers Division.
And I further agree
And I further agree
to carry out to the best of my ability
to carry out to the best of my abilities
all responsibilities pertaining to my office.
all responsibilities pertaining to my office.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Congratulations again.
So proud of you.
Chief Justice Muniz, Justices, President Baker Barnes, President-elect Orr, President-elect Designate Greenlee, Executive Director Doyle, Board of Governors, YLD Board of Governors, distinguished guests, colleagues, family, and friends. First and foremost, I want to give all glory and honor to God for the many blessings He has poured over my life. Without Him, I am nothing, and I wouldn't be here today without His love, His grace, and His hands guiding me through every season. Standing before you today as president of the YLD is one of the greatest honors of my life. This moment is humbling because it's not just about a title, a position, or one person. It's about the dedicated service to our profession and the over 23,000 young lawyers that we serve. To understand why this moment means so much to me, you have to understand where I've come from. I'm the son of two proud Haitian immigrant parents, and nothing in our life has come easy. My parents came to this country with nothing but a hope and a dream. And that dream was to give myself and my siblings a better opportunity than they had. Despite this struggle, when I was still a young child, my mother suffered a massive stroke in her early 30s that left her paralyzed on her entire right side. But despite this, my mother continued to raise a family with 5 small children. She still made dinner, she still made those big Sunday meals, and with Bible in hand, she still found a way to keep moving forward. And then there's my father, who stepped up and carried the entire financial weight of our family. He worked multiple jobs from sunup to sundown, day after day. And through it all, he never complained. My parents taught me that leadership isn't always loud. Sometimes it looks like a mother who never gives up. And other times it looks like a father who does whatever it takes to provide. My parents served as my early role models and first mentors, which reminds me of Proverbs 22, verse 6, that says, "Train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he will never depart from it." For me, that verse is personal, and my parents' unwavering commitment is a reflection of who I am today. When my parents migrated to this country, they settled in the Little Haiti area and later moved to the West Side area of North Miami. These areas have a dominant Haitian presence. And growing up there, it allowed me to hear stories about Haitian trailblazers like Jean-Jacques Dessalines and Toussaint Louverture, leaders who embody vision, courage, and unity. They gave us sayings like "Me en pile, Shai Palu," which translates to "the hands of many help make the load lighter." This united approach embodies how I view leadership and service. As we look ahead, the YLD has long been known as the workhorse of the Florida Bar, and this year we will honor that legacy by taking it to new heights. Our theme is precision in practice. It's a reminder that the details matter, how we serve our clients matter, and how we treat each other matters. Our profession is quickly changing. Technology is evolving. Artificial intelligence is reshaping how lawyers work. But one thing must remain true. This profession will always require lawyers who are competent, ethical, and prepared. That is why this year, the YLD will undertake the largest educational initiative in its history, placing education and lawyer competency at the forefront of our work. First, we will launch the YLD Learning Center, an online educational hub filled with practical, high-quality resources for young lawyers. It will include over 200 new online and on-demand CLEs, practice toolkits, resources designed to help young lawyers become better lawyers. This major initiative will be led by YLD governors Alexis Dion DeVoe and Imani Williams. Second, the YLD will host the Young Lawyers Summit at the Florida Bar Fall Meeting. This summit will bring young lawyers together for an in-person, skills-based workshop on topics ranging from civil litigation, criminal law, and transactional practice. This initiative will be led by YLD governors Rachel Pont and Reginald Penn. Third, and building on the success and record-breaking Legal AI seminar, the YLD will host an in-person Legal AI conference. This conference will be a hands-on educational experience focused on helping lawyers use AI competently and ethically under the rules regulating the Florida Bar. This conference will be led by Fredel Menard and Alicia Morisseau. And while education will be our primary focus, we will continue engaging our young lawyers through long-standing programming like the Affiliate Outreach Conference, led by YLD governors Jeanette Sanchez Aslan, Deborah Saintville, Selena Patel, and Bo Blumberg. AOC will continue recognizing lawyers for their professionalism and service while providing CLEs, key legal updates, and practical tools that they can take back to their practices and to their circuits. Together, along with the work of our other YLD committees, including the basic CLEs and practicing with professionalism, these initiatives will reflect our commitment to lawyer competency, meaningful education, and the precision in practice. As I stand here today, I must also recognize the historic moment. I stand before you today as the first Black male president of the Florida Bar YLD. And being sworn in on this Juneteenth holiday is not lost on me. It gives this moment even greater meaning. Being a first is an honor, and I'm extremely grateful for the firsts who came before me to pave a way. First, like Eugene Pettis, the first Black president of the Florida Bar, who showed us all what it means to lead with excellence, dignity, and vision. First, like Harold Pryor, the first Black state attorney elected in Broward County, who continues to show us what it means to break barriers while remaining focused on service and justice. And first, like our president, my president, Saya Baker Barnes. Saya, I want to speak directly to you. As the first Black female president of the Florida Bar, your leadership has been inspiring not only to me, but to an entire generation of young leaders throughout this state. You've led with grace, you've led with excellence, and for many of us, watching your leadership was more than symbolic, it was personal. You've shown us all that it is possible. Thank you for your leadership, and more importantly, thank you for being a beacon of hope. President-elect Michael Fox Orr, I am extremely honored to serve under your leadership. You are not only a respected leader of this bar, but also as a past president of the YLD, you are someone who understands firsthand the heart, the work, and the promise of this division. I'm looking forward to working closely with you over the next year, and I am confident that you will do great things. And I would be remiss if I didn't recognize some of my family and friends, some of whom are in Philly cheering on the Haitian soccer team as they gear up and get ready to play Brazil in the World Cup. Grenadien, Alanso. To my parents, thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for your prayers. Everything I am today is rooted in what you poured into me. Without your sacrifices, without your struggles, I wouldn't be here today. To my siblings, Marie, Cindy, Jean, Jemima, thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and thank you for being the foundation that has carried me through life. To YLD past presidents, Iris Elijah, Anisha Patel, Ashleah Edwards, and Arti Harani, thank you for your leadership and trust in me throughout the years. And to Iris, I want to say a special thank you to you. Long before I could see this moment in myself, you saw it in me. I am thankful for your confidence, your mentorship, and for leading me to this very moment. To Tom Miller, our YLD program administrator, thank you for the steady guidance and the countless ways that you continue to help move the YLD forward. And to my Greenberg Trarick family, Jean Wilson, Jonathan Perry, Nikki Lewis-Simon, Warren Bloom, and the entire GT Public Finance team, thank you for supporting my service to the Florida Bar and to the YLD this upcoming year. And to my best friend, my beautiful fiance, Balkis, and our daughter, Darla, thank you for standing beside me. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your love. You've been my peace in stressful moments, my encouragement when the road felt heavy, and my reminder of what truly matters. I'm grateful to walk life with you, and I am blessed to have you both by my side. And to the YLD Board of Governors, as I look at this board, I see leaders from all across the state, different circuits, different practice areas, different backgrounds, different stories. In Scripture, we read of the 12 tribes of Israel, each of whom with its own identity, its own characteristics, its own gifts. Yet they were connected by a shared history, a shared purpose, and a shared responsibility. In many ways, that's how I view this board. We all come from different circuits. We all bring different gifts, but we stand united in the same mission, and that's to serve young lawyers and to strengthen our legal profession. This year, we stand ready to bring legal education and lawyer competency to new heights. Thank you for entrusting me to lead this great organization, and thank you for your commitment to the YLD.
Congratulations, Reno and Warren. We look forward to all that you will accomplish. Will all of the 2026-27 Florida Bar Board of Governors members please assemble in front of the dais? Tall members in the back, please. That's you, Victor Smith. All right, we will now have the swearing in of our 26-27 Board of Governors by Chief Justice Muniz.
Okay, if you could please raise your right hands and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear to uphold, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Florida Constitution, and the rules regulating the Florida Bar. And I further agree to carry out to the best of my ability all responsibilities pertaining to my office. So help me God. Congratulations.
Congratulations to the new board. I would now like to invite Christine Davis to the podium to introduce incoming president-elect Paige A. Greenlee.
Chief Justice Muniz, Justices of the Supreme Court, members of the Judiciary, Board of Governors, and everyone else who's here. Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to let me be a part of this occasion and to giving me a few minutes to talk about Paige before we begin the Michael Fox Orr Show in earnest. It is my great honor to introduce my friend, Paige Greenlee, as she is installed as President-elect of the Florida Bar. I want to begin with a few things about Paige that you may not know. And I think the best way to do this is by playing a little game called Two Truths and a Lie. So see how well you know Paige. First, Paige is from a rural town in Pennsylvania that to this day only has one red light. Second, Paige grew up in a funeral home likening her child to the movie My Girl. Third, Paige obtained her undergraduate degree from Penn State University. Most of you are probably certain the last one is true. But even though Paige has probably spent more time at football games in Happy Valley than her alma mater, she actually graduated from the University of Pennsylvania, the Ivy League one. The other two things are true. Paige grew up in Bentleyville, Pennsylvania, a small borough that still has only one red light. I've been there, and it's a landmark. Paige also really did grow up in a funeral home. Her family started the business in 1930, and Paige's father opened the Bentleyville location in a historic house on the top of a hill in 1965. So when we were all asking to borrow our parents' cars, Paige was asking to borrow the van that carried the dead bodies to the funeral home. And that's why I start there. Not because Paige needs a neat story about where she came from, but those details explain her perspective and deep sense of service that are so much a part of who she is. Paige has never been someone who needed to follow a script. Like many strong leaders, she has encountered moments when people had fixed ideas about what leadership should look like and how it should sound. But Paige always followed her instincts and did things her way, which always wound up being the right way. This has been true throughout her career. Following her graduation from Emory Law School and a federal clerkship in Tennessee, Paige moved to Tampa, where she's lived for more than 20 years. 20 years ago was also around the time I first met Paige, when we served together on the Young Lawyers Division Board of Governors. I knew almost immediately that we would be friends. We just clicked. We've actually been called the Paige and Chrissy Show on more than one occasion, which I'm pretty sure was a compliment, but at least I'm going to choose to believe that it was. Since then, I've had the privilege of watching Paige build a remarkable career. She became a partner at several well-respected large and mid-sized law firms, and then 12 years ago, she had the courage and confidence to build her own successful solo practice. And that part of Paige's story truly sets her apart. Paige ran a tough campaign as a true solo practitioner. She did it while representing her clients, running her business, making the calls, managing the deadlines, and carrying all of the responsibilities that solo lawyers know so well. She may not have slept, but she did it. Throughout her 26-year career, Paige has always valued service to the Florida Bar, as well as voluntary bar associations too numerous to name. At every stage, she's done the real, often unglamorous work because she believes in improving the profession and has a passion for the law. That's why she'll be an excellent president-elect and ultimately president of the Florida Bar. And someone has to follow Mike Orr. It makes sense for Paige to follow Orr since they've worked together on the YLDN Board of Governors since Mike was a young pup out of law school. And Paige knows exactly what she's getting into when she ran to succeed him. They're going to make a great team, and I'm very excited for the next 2 years. Paige is funny, fearless, direct, and pragmatic. She can cut through the noise. She has the rare ability to be candid without being cruel, confident without being arrogant, and practical without losing sight of principle. Paige's life was largely influenced by her supportive and loving father, Barrett. When Paige was sworn in as YLD president, you couldn't find a prouder or happier person in the state. He passed away in 2018, but I know he is watching her now, beaming about his daughter and cheering her on. I also know her mom, Sarah, who is here today, is also exceedingly proud of her accomplishments. Together, they raised a daughter who has built a life in Florida defined by service, friendship, leadership, and purpose, all by being exactly who she is. It's my great pleasure to introduce my friend, Paige Greenlee, President-elect of the Florida Bar.
All right, we will now have Chief Justice Muniz swear in our president-elect.
Left hand. I, Paige Greenlee,
I, Paige Greenlee,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to uphold, protect, and defend
to uphold, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Florida Constitution,
the Florida Constitution,
and the rules regulating the Florida Bar.
and the rules regulating the Florida Bar.
And I further agree
And I further agree
to carry out to the best of my ability
to carry out to the best of my ability
all responsibilities pertaining to my office.
all responsibilities pertaining to my office.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Paige. All right, I would now like to ask Chief Judge Edwin A. Scales III from the Florida 3rd District Court of Appeal to come forward and introduce our incoming president, Michael Fox Orr.
Thank you, Saya. I would like to begin by apologizing to the bishop. I had no earthly idea you were going to be here, and some of the stuff in this speech is really not appropriate. I see Michael Orr brought his young children here. You guys may want to just do like this at certain parts. So, I see some folks are just coming in. Yesterday's judicial luncheon must just be wrapping up. Guys, just find your seats. According to the program, I am supposed to be introducing Michael Orr. Is that how it's pronounced? One syllable. Oh, okay, sorry. So this is historic. Our first bar president ever named after a conjunction. Great. I guess a little bit later you want me to introduce your cousins, and, but, yet, and so. Are they here? I guess it's not that strange having a bar president named after a conjunction. We've had a bar president named after a comedian, Jon Stewart. One named after the weather, John Frost. One named after a kerosene lantern, Greg Coleman. One named after a group of singing Mormons, Edith Osman. One named after headaches, Miles Migraine. One even named after Denny's, Jesse Diner. So Not quite sure about Hank Cox. But I am entirely sure that we've never had a president named after a conjunction, so congratulations, Mr. Orr. I would like to welcome your beautiful wife, Eileen. So good to see you. Congratulations. And as is fairly typical of low-esteemed people, Mike made his whole family sit through this ceremony, so for that we apologize. Speaking of welcomes, I would be remiss if I did not welcome Chief Justice Carlos Muniz, soon-to-be Chief Justice-elect John Coriel, and the entire Florida Supreme Court, who have the ability, with a single pen stroke, to make my life pretty miserable. So, Mr. Orr, if it is all the same to you, rather than introducing you, my remarks this morning will be directed exclusively to how wonderful, amazing, brilliant, decisive, articulate, and downright attractive the members of the Florida Supreme Court are. Their knowledge of the law, infinite. Their dedication to the branch, unmatched. Their intellect is exceptional. Their integrity, unwavering. Their writing skills are unparalleled. Their musical taste is... Did I mention their knowledge of the law is infinite? So, seriously, Michael Orr is a decent enough guy. Now back to our wonderful Florida Supreme Court. We are so lucky to have them. I think it's obvious to pretty much everybody in the room that I've never actually met Mike Orr. Actually, that's not true. We met this morning at a Rulin Shelley's case CLE, fascinating. And he asked me to give this speech introducing him as the next president of the Florida Bar. So without a lot of time to prepare this speech, maybe 4 or 5 minutes, which, by the way, is the amount of time that it takes to read one of the terrific, pithy, concise, well-written opinions from this Florida Supreme Court. Anyway, I didn't have much time to prepare this speech, so a few minutes ago I had my judicial assistant fax me a copy. YLD. Fax is short for facsimile transmission. It's how primitive people used to send documents back and forth. Anyway, I had my judicial assistant fax me a copy, because I don't really know Mike Orr, of a presidential introduction speech I gave several years ago for then incoming president, the first Cuban-American president, Ray Abedin. I figured I could just use that speech, change the names, no one would be the wiser, right? So here goes. Buenos dias. Mike Orr has no earthly idea what I just said. None. So here we go. Michael Fox Orr came to the United States from Cuba in the early 1950s. And through hard work and dedication, Michael Fox Orr learned English and became one of Florida's premier civil litigators. Notwithstanding the fact that Michael Fox Orr is in the country legally. By all accounts, Michael Fox Orr was a terrific president of the Cuban-American Bar Association. Obviously, I'm kidding. Mike was a terrible president of the Cuban-American Bar Association. All right, so apparently reading my Ray Abedin speech won't get it done. So how about this? As most of you know, one of the things that I love to do, and it's one of my hobbies, I just do it in my spare time, is sign search warrants directed to the Florida Bar. I love to do that. And last week I had one executed, and I got a trove of information. Most of it boring. Complaint letters about the Boca Raton Resort and Spa. List of massage parlors in the Bahamas. I'm not quite sure what that was about. List of some of Harkness's favorite bar presidents. Very short list. But I did get an email string between Mike Orr and Florida Bar Executive Director Josh Orr that I found fascinating. So let me read it to you. Orr writes to Josh, "Hey Josh, sup?" Let me digress here. I had to look it up, but apparently SUP followed by a question mark is how Jacksonville intellectuals say, "How are you doing?" So anyway, Orr writes, "Hey Josh, sup?" Josh responds, "Well, if you're asking how I'm doing well, thank you. By the way, Mike, have I told you how great I think our Florida Supreme Court is?" Orr responds, "Yes, many times, and I feel the exact same way. Boy, are we lucky to have such a fantastic group of folks leading our branch." See, it's not just me. Josh responds, "So, Mike, why the 4 a.m. email?" Or, "Oh, I just wanted to let you know that I've asked Scales to give my introduction speech at the General Assembly." Josh writes, "What the hell, Mike? Was Ted Bundy not available?" After Scales introduced Aberdeen a while back, Harkness quit, ICE raided the bar headquarters, and thousands of lawyers from all across the nation convened on Florida without taking the Florida bar. Orr responds, "I hear what you're saying, Josh, but I really need to let folks know I'm not afraid to crack a few eggs to make an omelet. Or, as we say in Jacksonville, I need to pee on my own fire hydrant." Sorry, Bishop, I'm a textualist and it's here in the text. So Josh responds, "Seriously, Mike, are you taking recreational fentanyl again? The last time you did that, we ended up with a 6 DCA. Or responds, "I know, but I think a decade on the foundation board may have mellowed Scales some." Josh responds, "Well, you're the incoming bar president and you can do whatever you want, so I guess Scales it is. Hopefully he won't do his stupid Bill Clinton impersonation. That would be entirely inappropriate for the General Assembly." Or responds, "Cool. Night, Josh." Let me digress here. I had to look it up, but apparently writing apostrophe NITE is how Jacksonville intellectuals say good night. So, on a serious note, when Florida's lawyers elected Mike Orr to be their president, they got a unicorn. They not only got a great bar leader, not only got a great trial lawyer, but they got a great appellate lawyer too, and that's a unicorn. Mike is, of course, board certified in civil trial law, blah, blah, blah. AV rated, is a member of ABOTA. He's practiced dozens and had dozens of civil trials, but he's also a great appellate practitioner. He's argued cases in the 11th Circuit up in Atlanta, in the absolutely awesome Florida Supreme Court, and in all of Florida's 6 district courts of appeal, including the 6 DCA that Mike was instrumental in having created. His bar resume is incredible. During his decade of service on the Florida Bar's Board of Governors, get this, he's chaired the Bar's Budget Committee, the Program Evaluation Committee, the Disciplinary Review Committee, and the Committee on Professional Ethics. He's served as president of both the Jacksonville Young Lawyers Section and the Florida Bar's YLD. He's been named a Florida Super Lawyer, a Florida Trend Legal Elite Lawyer, and one of the nation's top 100 trial lawyers. He's too young to be a member of AARP, but he is a member of AAA. He's also a member of both the Circle K and the Cracker Barrel loyalty programs. And he's this close to gold status on Delta Airlines, just that close. I asked some of the folks who are close to Mike to tell me a little bit more about him, things that a resume and a Ray Aberdeen speech don't reveal, things that humanize Mike, who is otherwise a pretty much litigation machine. The first person I called was Mike's law partner, Kevin Cook. Mr. Cook told me, and I quote, "I'm guessing Mike would probably be a good law partner if he'd ever get to work and stop playing around in bar politics." That's sweet. That's sweet. Then I called Mike's mentor, former bar president Mayanne Downs, and she told me, and I quote, "You know he's named after a conjunction, right? Draw your own conclusions." Always insightful thoughts from Mayanne. Finally, I decided to write Mike's good friend. I didn't even know Mike knew this guy. But I decided to write former President Bill Clinton, who sent me this really nice response. And I'm going to try to do it in the former president's voice, if that's okay. Dear Judge Scales, sup? So sorry I couldn't make it to Mike's big soiree in Orlando, but Hillary and I are up in Chappaqua this summer, and airfare is really steep, so we're just going to stay at home. So just tell everybody there I said hello, and please congratulate Mike for me. Yours truly, Bill. P.S. I know my friend Saya Baker Barnes will be there. Please also congratulate Saya on a great year as bar president. P.P.S. What's she wearing? Mike Orr cares deeply, deeply about our profession. And he cares just as much about our branch. He's ever mindful of the role of our branch in government and the role of our bar in our branch and the role that each of us play in ensuring the integrity of our profession. He's a student of history and of politics. He's a professor of effective management, and he's the dean of bar leadership. Mike is as friendly as he is fearless. Mike listens carefully but acts skillfully. He's wicked smart and funny as hell. And he's one damn great lawyer. And he's going to make a fantastic president of the Florida Bar. I am over the moon thrilled to introduce my good friend, who is going to be sworn in by one of the greatest Chief Justices the world has ever known. Please give it up for the 78th president of the Florida Bar, Michael Fox Orr.
I promise not to put the accent on Fox this year.
I knew you would.
I, Michael Fox Orr,
I, Michael Fox Orr,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to uphold, protect, and defend
to uphold, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Florida Constitution,
the Florida Constitution,
and the rules regulating the Florida Bar.
and the rules regulating the Florida Bar.
And I further agree
And I further agree
to carry out to the best of my ability
to carry out to the best of my ability
all responsibilities pertaining to my office.
all responsibilities pertaining to my office.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
All right, let's bring this to an end. Before I begin, I would like to take this opportunity to apologize to Justice Coriel. He said to me there was no way anybody could be funnier than my law partner, Kevin Cook, was at this event last year. And I promised Justice Coriel that whoever introduced me this year would be funnier than Kevin. Justice Coriel, I broke that promise and I failed you. I'm sorry, and I will not let that happen again. The Supreme Court means too much to me. I wanted to thank you, Your Excellency. That was a beautiful invocation, Bishop Pohlmeyer, and it means a great deal to me that you're here today. Thank you. And I also apologize to you and to the church for Judge Scales' inability to deliver today. And despite his missteps at this podium, I do have to thank the Chief Judge of the 3rd District Court of Appeal, the Honorable Ed Scales. You are the best appellate chief judge, radio host in all of Sugarloaf Key. And I can't thank you enough for the honor of your introduction, or whatever it is you just did. At some point, I zoned out and started staring at Tim Serio's head, or Victor Smith, I don't know who it was. So today I'm going to deliver some thank yous, some more apologies, and maybe provoke some thought. And on that note, I want you to leave here thinking about what you would attempt to do if you knew you would not fail. And we'll get back to that after some thank yous and apologies, and I'll start with my wife, Eileen. You told me just deliver the speech and don't try to do anything funny, and I'm failing at that too, and I should have listened. But you know I'm here because of your love and support, and you giving me the opportunity to do all of this. It means everything to me, and you've sacrificed a great deal. And you continue to smile even though every time I introduce you to somebody, they all ask you the exact same question: how do you put up with them? And one day we'll answer that question, but not today. I love you. To our kids, Michael, Max, Tucker, and Elle, thank you for not pushing each other over during the Pledge of Allegiance. More pool time for you. I know I give you a hard time, but people always tell us you are the most well-behaved kids, and that means a lot to me. And keep it up and know that we are very proud of you. My parents, James and Sharon, are here. Mom and Dad, thank you for teaching me the importance of respect and hard work. It drives me in everything that I do, and we're here today because of your love. And to my brother Patrick, and my sisters Angie and Katie, my nieces Chloe and Evelyn, Kate, who I saw this morning, and my in-laws Jeff and Doherty Scroggins, thank you for all of your love and support and for being here today. To Kevin Cook, you really were funnier than Judge Scales. But don't let that go to your head. He just had a rough day. He's usually more entertaining and engaging than this. I don't know what happened to him. But Kevin, we're very blessed to have a lot of brilliant people around us and people that do great work for us. And Jeremy, Katie, Megan, Lorraine, Taylor, Matt, Graham, Will are all here, and everyone back in Jax, our rock star Joy that's been with us for 17 years. My paralegal Bonnie, who still puts up with me after all these years. Thank you for this day and for your tireless advocacy. And that's a lot of thank yous. We need some apologies. I apologize to everyone that Justice Sasso could not be here today. She was kind enough to tell me that she could not stomach listening to Chief Judge Scales and me in the same morning after having to listen to us justify a 6 DCA on the District Court Realignment Committee, also referred to in Florida as the Scales Commission. Chief Justice Muniz and the rest of the Supreme Court, I apologize to you sincerely for whatever Judge Scales did. I pledge to work hard this year to make up for his shortcomings. To the Board of Governors, my dear friends, you were elected by the lawyers and judges of this state to lead and take on tremendous responsibility, particularly lawyer regulation. I am blessed and honored to work with you and know that we will fulfill our duty and work hard to improve the bar's core functions and the administration of justice. Thank you for your support and dedication to our profession and to the branch. Paige Greenlee, we've known each other for decades. I'm so excited for you. That seat is meant for you, and I can't wait to watch you ascend to this position next year. There are too many judges. There are too many judges here to thank, but I do want to recognize my chief judge, Lance Day, who woke up at 5 a.m. this morning to drive here from Jacksonville and to be here with Judge Wilkinson, Judge Janesk, and Judge Callagher. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here, and thank you for your service and all the service of the judges in this state. I have several friends here today, and I can't recognize all of them in the brief time I have. Mike Riley, you've been my best friend since our days at St. Mary's in Garner. And today, in front of all these distinguished people, I think we can level with them and say that had I attained your height of 6 feet 9 inches, I'd be finishing a distinguished career in the NBA. We should be honest with everyone about it and talk about the immense talent I possessed in the gym. And I know you will relay those stories to everyone in due time. Thank you for supporting my path in the law when I stopped growing. To Larry Hipps and Pat Kilbane and many others, you drove quite the distance to hear me speak today, and that's either friendship, loyalty, or a complete misunderstanding of how this would likely go. But regardless, thank you for being here. I see my golfing buddies traveled here too. Matt Devereaux, Todd Holder, John Ream, Paul Scott, Mark Ratner. I'm shocked you showed up. If you happen to meet these men, know that they are brilliant executives who have experience running large, complex businesses, and not one of them know how to add up my strokes in golf. I can't explain it. 100-page profit and loss statement, no problem for you guys. I shoot a par and you lose all brain function and write down a double bogey. Anyway, thank you for being here. This is my 20th General Assembly I've attended, and I cannot remember a time where clients were recognized. And yet we're all here today because of the clients we are privileged to serve. I'm here because of my clients, and particularly my best clients and close friends, Mike, Elaine, and Zach Ashurian, Christian Oldenburg, Ben Perry, Mike and Jean McCullough, and many others. I cannot thank you enough for putting your trust in me and in our law firm and for being here today. Thank you. And Mr. Ashurian, I can't help but think of you on this day as we near the celebration of the semi-quincentennial for our country. You are the definition of the American dream. That anyone, regardless of background or circumstances, can achieve at the highest levels, experiencing success through hard work. Your story and the extraordinary things you and your family have accomplished are inspiring to me and my family and our firm. And remembering your story today reminds us that the American dream must be protected. As St. Thomas Aquinas teaches us, patriotism and the love of our country that everyone in this room shares is a moral virtue. Thank you for demonstrating moral virtue, Mr. Ashurian. Lawyers serve as guardians of the American dream, and through our commitment to the rule of law, equal justice, and the protection of individual rights, we help ensure that every person has the opportunity to pursue goals, provide for their families, and build a better future. When the law is applied faithfully and fairly, opportunity can flourish, and our country's founders understood this reality. Indeed, this convention's theme is the framework of freedom, recognizing our independent nation's birth on July 4th, 1776. At a very difficult time, the people turned to lawyers to understand and articulate positions on equality, human rights, and the purpose of government. When Thomas Jefferson and his Committee of Five drafted the Declaration for the Second Continental Congress, only one of them was not a lawyer. And though they wrote for many reasons, a significant factor was the belief that the king was obstructing the administration of justice and the right to trial by jury. So I would say we can continue doing everything we've done in the way of protecting the administration of our justice system. But would that be enough? Can we do more? And what would we attempt to do if we knew we could not fail? Last year, a trial judge in Jacksonville, the Honorable Anthony Salem, called my good friend Braxton Gillum and me and said he was having a problem on the criminal bench. New lawyers were coming before the court to try cases, and the court was spending an inordinate amount of time of jury instructions, constantly reinventing the wheel. He said, "I really wish Florida could have something similar to the 11th Circuit's jury instruction builder. Without a special committee, without us directing much attention to it, we put the wheels in motion, and under our incredible Florida Bar staff, and with the leadership of my dear friend Josh Doyle and Marcy Jackson, they got to work on such a platform. I'm proud to announce that today the Florida Bar's Jury Instruction Builder launched. You can select the instructions for the type of case. It will generate a Word document, and now, hopefully, this will increase efficiencies within our court system and the time that is spent on those jury instructions. And all it took was a phone call from a judge with an idea of how we could make the system better. And we look forward to the feedback from the courts and our membership on how this resource can improve the trials in our courts. Chief Judge Howard from the Middle District of Florida and I were just discussing an issue that plagues the federal and state court systems today: jury summons scams, fraudulent calls, emails, or mail where scammers impersonate court officials or law enforcement. They threaten victims with arrest for missed jury duty and demand immediate payment, often via prepared debit cards, wire transfers, Bitcoin, or crypto, to allegedly clear a warrant. This is a threat to the proper administration of justice, one of many, and we must address it. Because of the advancements of AI, pro se filings across the state are up 40 to 50% in most courts. That is a tremendous increase in filings that the courts must reconcile and review, taxing our judicial system with hallucinations, fabricated case citations, distorted holdings, and false procedural rules. The workload of the judiciary has increased greatly as a result. There are so many issues in our court system, and we do not have time to list them all here this morning, and I cannot say it enough. Lots of my friends in the judiciary are beyond overwhelmed. It is incumbent upon us as a profession to step up and help make our system as great as it can be. So I pledge to the Florida Supreme Court, to the district, circuit, and county courts, and to our more than 115,000 members, we will work hard to do anything we can to improve our system of justice this year. The willingness of lawyers to become involved in the process will be the difference between a healthy, free society where the American dream can be realized, or a society destined for failure. And speaking of failure, I know I have not recognized and thanked everyone, but hopefully everyone does openly receive my apologies for Chief Judge Scales' introduction earlier this morning. And now I end this General Assembly by giving all glory to God, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, appreciating that this day of recognition and praise is His. Through Him I am blessed to serve this great state and our extraordinary profession. Thank you.